Hello, and I'm here by duty and honour of my country to warn you you're entering into the personal space of Personal Development Unplugged, and it may seriously, yes, seriously, make your life so much better. Thank you.
Here's your heads up to this longer podcast. The metaphorical slap in the face, learning about something and where we're headed. The ultimate vision of who we really want to be. We strive to be. We're inspired to be. That's where we're going. Something I learned about myself. Bit embarrassing, but hey ho, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to dive straight in. No introduction about the Personal Development Unplugged podcast. You know it. And if you don't, I'm sure you'll find out. Okay, have a listen. It's more interesting to listen than my introduction. Okay, have a listen right now.
Personal development, unplugged.
Well, a slap in the face. There's a title for you. And it wasn't a literal slap in the face, although it did feel like a little bit. It's a metaphorical slap in the face that I got from me. I slapped myself in the face. So let's do first things first, because we don't always do that, do we? And that's how I found out the hard way. So this is a personal sharing, as it were. You know, I like to share personal stuff. Don't tell anybody about this because it's personal, me to you. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me because it shows and showed me. This wasn't the slap in the face, but it could have been. It's not what you know. It's doing what you know that counts. And here's a sort of an example. Way back in February 2019, 4 years ago. And in my notes I swore to myself. 2 episodes, #123 and 124, wheels and buckets. And they're all about what you want to do with your life. Different buckets for different areas of your life. Wheels, different, they're all the same theme. Every wheel was a different area of my life. So I'm going to have to do another one. I think I'm going to have to do another one on that because put it all together. So embarrassingly, and this is the embarrassing part, I've been working on myself. Just like you. I don't stop. I know I've got things that I need to change. And we can. And every time we grow, and there's other things we can add to it. We've got new experiences, new learning, so we can keep making those improvements. And I have made improvements. You see, when you go out to make improvements, you can't not make an improvement, can you really? But you have to look back. You have to look back, because you might say to yourself, well, maybe Cluffy, I do try, but I don't notice the improvements I've made. And that's why we have to do that review. Because any changes that you've made are now your new normal. And your new normal tends to be, well, what issues? What issues did I have in that area? And you have to look back and go, oh yeah, I was a right old so-and-so doing that type of stuff. But now I've changed. Now you're going to say, Cluffy, you've told me this before. Yes, I know. And I do repeat on this podcast. But there's a reason for that repetition. Tony Robbins used to say, repetition is the mother of skill. And it's a reminder, a re-reminder, because we need reminders. It's amazing how many times we hear something, but it doesn't go in. And then there's just that one time when, oh yeah, I seem to remember that. Yeah. And there's things I want to get to grip with, different areas of me I want to get to grip with. New things now. And that's what happens because we realize how far we've moved, where we are now, and now where we look to the future. What else do I want to do? What can I strive for? Do you get that now? What can I strive for next? Hopefully not too many things because we get overwhelmed. And that's when we get procrastination. So if you're suffering procrastination or overwhelm, just dial it back a little bit. Dial it back. How many things am I trying to do at once? Because you can't. Anyway, back to my story. Back to my wheels. and my spokes. What the hell are you talking about, Cluffy? Well, to me, instead of having buckets, different areas of my life, I like to think of each area of my life as being a wheel. Not the old wheel of life that people talk about or used to talk about. No, they still do. Where you would split up a wheel up into different segments, and each segment would be an area of your life. And you'd shade in where you thought you were up to in your life, and then go, well, if that was a wheel and you were riding a car, how bumpy would that be? You've got to work on those areas to pull them all up. But I found that just having one area was too big, too vague, which is why I said a wheel is an area of my life, but the spokes in between, they're the things that make up the wheel. So you could have a wheel for health, and the spokes might be exercise, could be diet, could be what you eat. Not when you eat, but things like supplements. Maybe it's rest, sleep. Who knows? That's health. But then there's lots of other things, relationships and things like that. And I know I have to do this. And I don't like the have to. And I know I need to do this. And I don't like the word need. And I should do this. I don't like that should. It should be I want to. Should. There's a should in there already, isn't there? We should all over ourselves. And I know I really want to do this. And I started again. And I got this lovely little notebook. And it's all divided. It was brought to me from my son. And I've got little yellow pages in between, with lots of other pages in between. So I thought to me, that's it. Every yellow page will be the start of a new wheel, and every page will be a spoke within that wheel. And then I just got into it. And then I found myself, I started. Have you ever done this? You start with the best of intentions, and it's not the intention I would go to, but it's like the best of intentions. I want to do this. It's a good idea. But I tell myself off now, because I found myself. I didn't carry on. I didn't keep it going. I did bits and pieces. I did the gym. I worked out a lot of my health work about the exercises, because that was an easy one. I knew that. So I was writing down stuff I knew and the sort of stuff I was doing. But because of that, it wasn't that motivational. I wasn't motivated to carry on with the hard stuff. And then I just didn't do it. And then I got the biggest slap in the face. Just like that. I thought to myself, I'm doing all this stuff towards a bloody what, Cluffy? What are you doing? What is this towards? What are you trying to do? I've got all the wheels. I've got all the spokes. Well, I haven't got the spokes. I got the wheels, but I didn't bother to get the spokes. But I'm now questioning, are they the right ones? Well, they're not wrong, but could I do better ones? And even that didn't sort of get me motivated. And then there it was again. Another slap in the face. I was metaphorically pretty dazed by then. You see what happened? It suddenly got to me, this big aha moment. You dick, Cluffy. You're dope. Not good dope, but yeah, dopey. Old dopey Cluffy. I reminded myself, I've been talking about ultimate visions, the best version of yourself, the best version of us, me, you. And can you imagine it? Well, I could. Not quite in the detail I wanted to at the moment, but I've talked about it so much about it. It's all in your imagination. And by the way, ultimate vision is never going to be ultimate because it's going to keep evolving. You're going to find ways to keep improving, but you have to have the ultimate vision that you've got at the moment. And I did one of these a long time ago. I did a lovely ultimate vision. In my early days of NLP, I wrote out my ultimate vision, and it was beautifully typed. I put it in a lovely font. I put it on a 6x4 card, and it was lovely. And it was a load of balls, really. Well, it wasn't then, it was what I was going to aspire to, but when I look at it, or when I looked at it again not too long ago, I thought to myself, I've changed so much. So much of those words now they're nice words, but they're no longer appropriate to me. They don't fit. I need to move on. Well, I have moved on, and I need to move this ultimate vision. And I started to think about it. First things first. What's the intention of having wheels, spokes, buckets, whatever you want to improve this personal development, the intention is to be the best version of yourself, isn't it? So it's a big picture, the big picture, the most best version, the real me, the best real me I can think of. That's my intention. That's where I'm going. And everything else now will fit inside that. First things first. So before thinking of the sections, I wanted to know who I want to aspire to be. To what end as well? What would happen if I, what that ultimate vision of myself, what would that pull be? Because it's the ultimate vision of me. So, what did I do? I started to see myself doing my little visualization, but then I was doing it, write it down, because you know what I say? You got to write that sucker down. So, in that book, I found a blank page for all the other stuff I've done. And I wrote down everything I could about that me I aspire to be to, or I aspire to be. That ultimate vision, that best version of myself. I wrote everything I could. What would the beliefs, that ultimate vision, that ultimate me, the best version of me have? And they weren't the beliefs I have now, but they're the beliefs I know that if I had them, well, it would be amazing. What about the values? The values that ultimate vision of me would hold himself to. And I wrote those down. And the good thing, well, to me, I felt good about that because they were the same values that I have in me now. It's all about being trust, honesty. But then a new one popped in, loyalty. Yeah, they come together. And then I started to think, well, when that ultimate version of me, that best version of me, is living a life with these wonderful, powerful beliefs about my identity, who I believed I was, with the wonderful values, the things that were really important to me, that me out there, what emotions would I experience more of? What behaviors would I do? The high-level behaviors that I would hold myself to. And what would those behaviors begin to attract or do? And there was things like being non-judgmental, because I'm a little bit judgmental sometimes. You? But being open-minded, being kind, looking deeper. And I went on and on. And it made me quite emotional to write it, to think, where is this all coming from? And then I realised it's coming from me, Cluffy. It's inside you. So if it's inside you to write down, you know you can aspire to be there because you've got those skills. All you have to do is start. How do you do that? How do you start to use them? I didn't finish that sentence off, but I jumped in. You can start to think of, well, what would happen if I acted as if I was that ultimate vision? Yeah, I probably won't get it all. I know I won't. But I'll get a lot further, a lot nearer if I act as if. And now when I think about it, and I just think of how I would act, how that ultimate vision of me would be, I can now visualize it so much more. I can visualize me, Cluffy, Paul, out there. And then I can start to say, well, what would the wheels, the sections of my life, the content and whatever, what would be the real special, specific wheels that make up that ultimate vision of me, and then the spokes that are part of that ultimate vision. And you see, now I've got that, I'm more, can you tell my voice has changed? I've just noticed my voice is changing because I'm more motivated to start working on it, really looking at those wheels and the spokes. So that's what I'm going to do. Maybe I said about another, I think this is going to have to be another pod as well. So another pod, another episode. That's if you're interested, of how we can really get that ultimate vision in our heads. I think I've given you a good idea. But if you wanted a bit more help with maybe like a little process to do that, a little visualization in an episode, we could do that. And then how we can take that into wheels, spokes, buckets, whatever you like. And the whole thing about this is, it's bloody simple. And to do it, all you need to do is those simple steps, the simple steps that I'm taking. And it is an and. It's exciting. It's exciting now. Let me know. Let me know if that's of interest to you, and we'll do another episode. I'd love to know what your thoughts are about this. Is it inspiring? Or has it inspired you? I'm not an inspiring speaker, but does it inspire you a little bit? And just as a reminder, my meta view of this one, just looking down on everything I've been talking about or thinking about and writing about. First things first, before we start, set your blood. Think about what your intention is. No, I thought my intention was to work out the bits and pieces. No, my first intention was, where am I headed? What do I expect? What am I looking for? Now, you might say, maybe I missed out all these years, all these months, all these days. But it's never too late, because we're always evolving. And you have to. So we're always starting over. So I wonder how curious you could be about that. And doing what you know. Actually doing, and not just knowing what you know, doing what you know. The mastery of you. Bringing back that intention. There you go. I hope there's a few golden nuggets out there for you. And you feel inspired to give yourself a metaphorical slap in the face. Oh, no! As Homer from The Simpsons would say. And start to think about personal development. Where am I going? What is my ultimate vision of me? Who do I aspire to be? Yeah. And if you share this with other people, that'd be awesome. I always like you to share. It would be great if you do, because if everyone just gets that little glimmer of moving towards their ultimate vision, it's what we're put on this, I believe, put on this little old planet Earth to do, to be. And it's growth, evolving, and creating new things as we do it. And everyone gets a benefit. So if you could share this, that would be awesome. Press that subscribe, follow button, all that stuff I say. And email me if you want another episode in this, or what part of it you'd like even more detail on. And that's feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. And you can catch me on Twitter or X or whatever it is now, and Instagram, all that stuff. Have a little look. Just Google my name, Unplugged, and all that stuff. And you'll see my face, and you'll know it's me, because I'll have all that. I put up all my reels and things like that. Anyway, until the next time, my friend, this has been fun. I enjoyed this. So let's have a good one and fly. Oh, and also have more fun than you can stand. Bye-bye.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.